Hey guys, welcome to my first episode of Mental Vitamins. This has been a long awaited podcast that I've been wanting to launch for a long time, and no better time than the present. So today I want to focus on quotes. This one's going to be about a specific quote and my translation of what that quote means and how it pertains to our everyday life. So hopefully this will help out some of you going through this crazy transition right now. So the quote that I wanted to go over today, it's basically about the fact that most people never really see your journey. They don't see the behind the scenes, what you go through, what you struggle with, and mainly are there for the wins, which isn't bad, but that's only a percentage of the whole experience, right? So the quote is by Maya Angelou. We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the change it has gone through to achieve that beauty. Correct? Right? I think we can all relate to that. So I wanted to pick a topic that's relatable right now, especially with there's so many transitions happening, in terms of work, life, relationships, relationship with self. It's a huge shift happening. So this quote in itself, a lot of people are probably struggling. If you're working, you're probably overwhelmed because now you're stuck in a place and you can't leave with all this work, and you don't really have time to figure yourself out because you have deadlines and you have to keep order in your normal life in terms of work, but you're still struggling. And then those who lost their jobs or in between figuring things out, trying to pivot, trying to come up with new things. Basically right now, no one can see the work and the effort and the struggle and the pains that you're going through right now, and that's okay. That's why I wanted to highlight this topic and make this support, and making sure that that even though you're going through that, you're not alone. I think the first thing that we can discuss is change in your current life. COVID, how has that changed in your current life? So basically, work is either brought home, or you're finding a new place or a new job, or you're dealing with your emotions, and maybe some days you don't want to get up and some days you don't want to deal with things, and you're figuring things out, and that's okay as well. So basically, first is figuring out your life. How has it changed? How has it adjusted? And admitting that. Realizing it, accepting it, and creating that as the foundation of this several months of change. I mean, the whole world's going to change for a while, but I think the lockdown will inevitably be something that we all have to figure out, and we have to accept it. So almost 2 months into it, I know many people are trying to find their way of accepting it, trying to find their way of managing how they feel and how to work and how to make money, or how to apply for this or that to get money, and all of your emotions towards the government and the world, all of these things. But first you need to find that foundation again. You need to level yourself out and look at the positives and the negatives, and look at the controllables and the non-controllables, and what can you do about that. So that's the first step. Second is, what can you do with these changes? Acknowledging change and adjusting change is very important. So what can you do with these changes? For myself, I'm an event planner. Events are gutted, probably until 2021, or 2021. So basically, instead of, I'll admit, the first couple of days, it was really tough for me. I just launched my business in 2017. I'm getting really great momentum. I'm actually creating events and working with people that I really respect. The theme of my life is doing what I love, and it's been amazing. And now I've been thrown off into a whirlwind, and I'm trying to figure it out. So I'll use a lot of this based on myself, and then you can relate that to how with what you're going through in your situation. But I can only speak for myself. So what are these changes? What can you do with these changes? So for me, I work from home naturally. So being home, it's okay. But now that I don't have events, what do I do? So basically, I've been trying to figure out how to do online events. And to do online events, there are so many ways of doing it, but I don't know how. That's not my expertise. That's not where my strengths lie. And that's where a lot of my fears and worry came from. But after you admit those fears, after you realize that they're going to be there, but just like when you were a kid, you didn't know how to speak, you didn't know how to walk, you couldn't ride a bike, but you figured it out. So we need to go back to basics and figure things out. Do I want to keep doing this? Do I want to learn a new way of adjusting? And that's a big question you need to ask yourself. Are you ready to take this on and admit that this is going to be the new norm and move forward and figure it out? Or stay stuck and kind of be a victim? Not that you don't have the right to feel bad or feel upset, but at the end of the day, it's your life. How are you going to fix it? How are you going to change it? What effort are you going to make? You know, there's no Prince Charming that's going to save you. So with that being said, I linked up with a cause called Hate is a Virus, and they've been doing a lot of outreach and online sales through merchandising so that we can raise about $1 million to give back to small businesses that are suffering. And that's a huge one for me because I'm not even admitting, of course I'm suffering, but you know, my goal isn't to focus on myself. I know that I can survive and find a way. It's to give back to those people that are also suffering if I'm able to do that. Luckily, I don't have a brick and mortar, so my overhead isn't crazy. I don't have employees, so it's a bit different for me. So because of that, I have compassion for them and I want to do something. So with Hate is a Virus, we're working on an online event where we bring talent and have roundtables of speaking on topics and a rally to, you know, unite people, let them know they're not alone. But that still takes a skill set of knowing how to do that. So instead of, you know, of course, you know, you freak out, you don't know how to do it, but then you start to breathe and go, okay, if I can't do it myself, how do I connect with the right people that believe in this cause to fight against racism and xenophobia, hate against, you know, small businesses, people, humans, you know, we have to combat that. And I ended up finding people who are like me that want to do this and can do these specific jobs. So now I'm working on this event and I'm building it up. That's just one way to find and pivot in the current situation I was in. I could have and still can be feeling bad and just saying, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna, you know, fight with my significant other and be a victim and drink every night and, you know, not really solve the situation, or be active in the pursuit of my own happiness and my own purpose, you know, finding your purpose. And that's why this time is really important, and people can't see that right now you're finding your purpose again. You're connecting back to your spirituality, you're connecting back to who you are, you're connecting back to your family, you know, your whys. Why are you even alive? Why are you even waking up every day and putting one pants on and the other? And this is that time to figure those things out. This is that time to tap into your soul and really acknowledge what matters to you, what is worth fighting for, what's worth your time, what's meaningful, you know, and this is that time for that. So in finding this new event and doing that, you know, of course I have fears that what if the event is not as good as it can be? What if we can't get, you know, people that really stand behind what we're asking them to be a part of and they're just doing it just because? Or, you know, what if it plays and it's live and everything falls apart? At the end of the day, it's all a learning curve. And if people know you're trying to do something for a greater cause, then they're not going to fault you for it and they'll support you because of that. And the people that want to hate, they're going to always be there to hate, and they're always going to be there to compare. And that doesn't compromise you and your intentions. So you still have to work through it. You still have to figure it out, but you can't let that consume you. That's a big issue. You have to work on not letting your emotions consume you, realizing the logic, and like I said, the controllables and the non-controllables, and then acting upon those things. So if you go through a panic attack, you know, there's a reason why you're being triggered. There's a reason why your mind, your body, your soul is alerting you that maybe it's a lot, it's too much, this is a bad idea. Or maybe it's scared because you don't have all the answers and you're used to having all the answers, and maybe it's time for you not to have all the answers and try something new and try something different and pivot and give it your all and ask for help and see where it goes, so that you can keep making mistakes until you get to where you want to be. Because as long as you're working towards what makes you happy and what gives you passion and what gives you purpose, then you're on the right path no matter what. And it's not about getting to the end all the time. It's about the journey, about what you gain from it, about the connections you make from it. So no matter how you may feel, it's all temporary. And this is the part that most people don't see, are your breakdowns, is your fear, are your worries, your isolation, not being able to talk to people that you can, or being in front of people that you can. At the end of the day, you could say you can't talk to people, but the phones haven't died. So you have to really set forth in your reasoning of what kind of excuses are you making, and are you blocking yourself? And that's okay. That's part of the process. Part of the process is hitting the ground and breaking apart, picking up all of those pieces, picking out which pieces make sense to put back, and then start walking and start making those pieces work for you now that you've undone all the negative and undone all the unnecessary, and now pick the pieces that can actually help you and enable positivity, and now move forward. And that's kind of the situation. And then the last point was, allow what your energy is manifesting to connect and see what happens the next few months. So, we talk about finding a new way of finding purpose and happiness, vetting those things out, really trying a few things, seeing how it works. And then now that you've made a decision to keep investing, maybe it's work. You're like, I can't handle this, I can't handle that. So you figure out exactly why can't you handle that. Because you're cooped up in a house, because you can't work because people are near. So then you have to think of things, make your bathroom a safe haven, or find other alternatives to help you, instead of being a victim to your situation. Go to the car and work, use your hotspot in your car. There's a lot of different ways of figuring things out, and you just have to really be open-minded and stop blocking yourself. And then once you find that and you accept it and you receive that, now you're allowing that energy that you're manifesting to attract the things that you need and want. And now you can go forth in being happy and focusing on what matters in your life and how you can make the biggest change to your purpose. If it's helping a community, if it's making sure your family's safe, if it's making sure that your relationship is good with your significant other, or helping people that are suffering or need support. Whatever that it is that you choose to do, no matter what, first you put yourself first, and then you find the foundation, set up the guidelines, put in place those boundaries, and then move forward into executing those things so that you can start manifesting what you deserve, manifesting what is meant for you, and allowing peace and happiness in your life. So hopefully that makes sense. This is part of the butterfly growth, where no one gets to see all of this, pain and hardship, filtering and figuring out, and trials and tribulations, and no one gets to see that side, but that's okay. And as long as you can reach out to maybe one or two friends to be a soundboard, usually not your person that you're living with, somebody else, so that you guys can change the state and make sure you're not unloading too much on one person. But that could be another topic. But thank you guys for tuning in. I will connect back again with you guys for another topic. You guys can share and subscribe. And if you guys have any things that you guys want me to speak upon, share them, send an email, send a DM. I love to look over those. But yeah, like we said, we delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the change it has gone through to achieve that beauty. So thank you, Maya Angelou, in creating that quote, and thank you guys for tuning in. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.